Good morning, sir. What I saw in Kisii and in Kakamega and Mombasa, loosely speaking, I would refer to it as a gathering of Kenyans from all shades of opinion. Let's give credit to the conveners. They tried as much as they did. That gathering had an intention of rewriting the entire constitution of Kenya or sections of it. Now, in English, and I expect people like Amolo Tiende, who attended, and Jokoe Medio, to be very good at English. In English, that kind of gathering is called a constitutional convention. A constitutional convention. And a constitutional convention, for it to have any deliverables, must actually have delegates and delegations that have been agreed upon by all stakeholders. Because the constitution they're purporting to make is actually a social contract between the people of Kenya and those of you who call yourselves the ones governing them. In the absence of that, and you saw clearly that that was not the case,
yes.
Then what these people were doing is what is in the cartoon. In the cartoon, the cartoonist is simply telling you, you are behaving stupidly, you're being foolish. That is not the way it is done. So I agree with them, and I would like to make the following comments. I agree with the cartoonist, and I would like to make the following comments. The first one is that the owners of the original idea, President Uhuru and former Prime Minister Raila, should swallow the bitter pill and accept that the thing has now become a soap opera. And for that reason, they should go back to only 3 people. 1, the Hachi team, B, President Uhuru, and C, Raila Odinga. I want to think that the 2 politicians, Raila and Uhuru, had good intentions when they decided that we should go this route. And this being the case, let us be honest. We saw it in Bomas. Uhuru, who I know for a fact that he is not equal to Raila, he is the president, he led the country and said, now let this document go to the people. He was allowing for a constitutional requirement called public participation. So instead of allowing the public participation to continue being driven by the BBI team, out of the blues, the Orange Democratic Movement, plus the people they intimidate, thank God I'm not one of such people intimidated by ODM, they have brought in something foreign, something strange, called the BBI rallies. And this confusion will continue and continue and continue. Honorable Amolo, what I did in Mumias, whichever English words we use, whether you call it a parallel or a one-man show, it was a meeting of the people of Western Province. It was not meant for you. And its agenda was specific. It was an economic forum. The reason why it didn't take off, it was not because of our failure on 18th to make it successful, but because you used brutal, raw state power to stop us, up to and including the head of state, if the papers are telling us the truth, asking Musalia Mudavadi and Wetangula not to go to that function. Had you not brought the police, the function would have gone on. And this was evidenced by last weekend on 25th when we did the function successfully. Give credit where it is due. Now, here we are. And I said you seemed to be offended at the beginning when I was asking you. I was just looking for clarity. Here we are about to face 2 documents. The first one is the document that I want to call the Haji document of Bomas. The second one is now, which has been announced by Raila clearly, or his party, in today's paper, that ODM is pushing for a new document on page 1. And there are only two things in Raila's document. Namely, they want to introduce in the new constitution of Kenya regional governments and 2 centers of power where you have got an executive prime minister and a popularly elected president. That's what they're saying. I would like to call that the ODM BBI report. And then the other one is the Haji BBI report. So to end this confusion, stop these rallies. And then budget parliament, you're here, make a budget for a referendum. And let that referendum come with only the following questions. Kenyans, do you support the 2010 constitution, which currently is in force? Or B, tick if you like against that box. Or B, box number 2, do you want that constitution to be amended to be the one launched in Bomas called the Haji BBI report? And then finally, do you want the one of ODM? Kenyans are going to vote, and they will give us a result which we can live with.
Right.
You know, Dibal, with due respect to all of us, it is holding Kenyans in contempt. It is assuming they are foolish. That you invite them in Kisii, invite them to Kakamega, invite them to Mombasa to give their views. Then they are not given an opportunity to give their views at all. Instead, resolutions are read to them.
All right.
What is more,
thank you.
In conclusion, what is more, even as they were invited to come to give their views, they have not been given an opportunity to read the BBI document. So people are coming to give views on something they have not read. The BBI report is not with members of the public.
Thank you. Could that also be a reflection of what we have in the People Daily today? I think Stano has actually absolutely captured what you're saying today. This is a politician, and there we have the politician, Ord Wanjiku, you know, on the back of Wanjiku. And he's saying, I read it and understood it. Everything, this is everything. I read it and understood everything. This is the way. And you can see where he's pointing. It's towards the referendum as it is. Exactly. Let Wanjiku give her opinion too, right? So we have all these pronouncements that are made from the rallies as well. But where is the input of Wanjiku as it is right now? Because as it is, we're asking, the politicians really taken over. Jacoyo says, no. They are the elected representatives of the people, so they're the voice of it. But where actually is the voice of Wanjiku? Briefly, before we take a short break, just briefly.
This has been my position ever since, and I think it is in saying things such as this that Otiende reads it to mean that we are opposed to the BBI exercise, and that is what also Eseli seemed to be having as his understanding of our earlier words of caution that we gave to this process. In my honest opinion, and I've said this on this show times without number, that BBI 1 was a sham because it was not largely consultative. That's why many of us have said, okay, if you want to use the kind of brute and force that is being used on this particular process to take on the views of people, then so be it. We shall take the opportunity and give our views, because at the end of the day, I've realized we live in a country, whether you give your views or you don't, it doesn't matter. So you better give your views anyway. Otherwise, we will never have found the opportunity to be able to be part and parcel of this process. Because in all honesty, Dibal, it is very unfortunate what is happening. All these moving politicians from one place to the other, paying them to attend these rallies using state money, booking their flights, moving them each and every weekend. That's why we remain to be